What's up guys, Ryan here. Today I wanted to make a video talking about how to file taxes for your Amazon business. I also had to account for income from Etsy and eBay, so I also talk about those two platforms, and I include how to expense your inventory if you did print on demand sales on Amazon, Etsy, or eBay using Printful or Gearbubble, because those are the main platforms that I talk about using and that I use myself. Let's get into it. Real quick, I thought I'd mention that I use Intuit TurboTax to file my taxes every year. If you guys are watching this video and it's your first time having to account for additional income and maybe filing your own taxes, check out TurboTax. They make it really easy to do, and they walk you through like what's going on each screen. You can click learn more and it'll pop up a help prompt that if you're inquisitive like I am and you want to kind of know what's going on each screen, it's a great way to learn. Let's get straight into the beast, Amazon.com. This is where the majority of you guys watching this probably did most of your online sales, myself included. They'll send you a 1099K document in the mail telling you how much money you made over the fiscal year. And this is what they're also going to report to the IRS. So when you're filing your taxes, you need to key in the same numbers from that 1099K. You don't want discrepancies there because that's going to raise a red flag. Use your head here. Think about it from the IRS perspective. They have to streamline this massive process for detecting like tax fraud and whatnot. And if there's discrepancies between what a company like Amazon reported paying you and what you reported being paid by Amazon, obviously that's going to cause an issue. So that number obviously is not 100% profit. Amazon doesn't know what we paid for inventory and shipping and etc. We need to account for certain metrics. Now, if you go to my blog, I put links to where you can go grab all the reports you need for, all the common reports you need to account for your Amazon expenses. Now, you can also, Amazon's got tons of random programs that sellers can opt into that you'll end up paying them more money, like the early reviewer program. So I didn't account for things like that. If you use those things, you need to account for your own expenses. If you want to save money while you're filing taxes, obviously expense them because they are business expenses. But what I've listed here are the common expenses that almost every seller is going to have used at some point throughout the year. The first one is you can view your Amazon fees, meaning how much order fees did you pay Amazon in order to sell on their platform. On the average order, if you guys are selling on Amazon, you know this, they take around 15% as like a baseline. That's like the minimum. You're going to want to know exactly how much you paid Amazon in order fees for the year. So you can go to the reports tab in Seller Central, payments, and then all statements. And then from there, look for the Amazon fees total column. You can also click this link on my blog and it'll take you straight there. Then you need to view your Amazon PPC data from your campaign manager. Now, I just released a video about how I manage my Amazon advertising campaigns a couple days ago. I suggest you check it out if you're selling on Amazon and you're trying to scale your business, because I put a lot of value into that video talking about how to structure your campaigns and your ad groups. And I also suggested some software that I use myself for automating things like your keyword management, keyword bids, target ACOS, etc. So you're going to want to grab your PPC spend from Campaign Manager by going to Reports and then Advertising Reports. If you're using AMS, you're going to want to pull this information. Whether you're selling on Amazon Seller Central or maybe you're an Amazon mercher and you were trying to account for your expenses on merch, which are so easy to account for because you either advertised or you didn't. If you didn't advertise, merch is pure profit, so there's nothing to expense. If you did advertise, this is where you would account for it. Go into AMS. You're going to have to key in your AMS ID, which you can grab from the URL when you go to ams.amazon.com. But I put the link here that you can click. Again, you're just going to need to put your AMS ID in there, and then you can pull the report. Then you're going to want to account for your Amazon coupons and lightning deals. Now, some of you guys maybe didn't use these. If you're not using them, please take my advice. Give it a test. Give it a shot. It's better to, in my opinion, mark up the cost of your product by 5% and then run a coupon for 5% off, because you will stand out in search results by having that little 5% off coupon icon next to your product, especially if your competitors aren't running coupons. If you ran any Amazon coupons, click this link right here and grab the report for what you spent. You can click expired and then look at the date range. Now it's going to lump together dates from this year, last year, and the year before, right? So you have to look at the specific dates. One thing I didn't mention, when you pull these reports, guys, make sure you have the date range set to the correct fiscal year. Same thing goes for lightning deals. Go there, go to the recently ended tab, and look at your lightning deals that have expired. Look at how much they cost you. Write those numbers down. And then, obviously, the other thing you cannot forget to account for are your inventory costs and inbound shipping. Now, that's not found in Seller Central. Only you know what those are. So hopefully you've been writing them down as you've been buying inventory throughout the year. I always pay by wire transfer, and I keep a big stack of wire transfer receipts, which I actually have a picture of on my blog that I'll show you. I like rubber band a big stack of them together, and I keep them according to the fiscal year. And I write down all the important information. Like I'll fold them up, and then I'll just write down the important information on the outside of them so I can sift through them really quickly. Order number, supplier, date, and how much I paid. So you're going to need to add all those up to get your cost of inventory, and then you're going to need to add up all of your, I don't know how you pay for your shipping. I also just pay by wire transfer to my freight forwarder. Add up all your shipping costs, deduct this from the number that Amazon paid you, and then you have your profit. Now guys, I use some software called Fetcher, and there's a link in the description if you want to test it out. It'll generate your profit and loss statement for your Amazon business for you automatically because it integrates with your seller account via API, and it can pull all the reports automatically. The only two reports it doesn't account for are Amazon coupons and Amazon lightning deals, but the rest it can figure out. Also, if you're doing Amazon marketing, AMS, that exists as an independent arm of Amazon, so it won't pull that either because that's a completely separate account. But you can go into Fetcher, and they give you like a 30-something day free trial without even giving them a credit card. And then on the navigation, go down to P&L statement. Well, actually, first you're going to need to click the expenses tab, and you're going to need to tell them your cost of inventory for each product and your inbound shipping for each product. As I just mentioned, there's no way for anybody to know how much you're paying for your inventory or your shipping other than you. So you're going to need to factor that in manually, regardless of if you use Fetcher or not. If you use Fetcher, you just click that expenses tab, key in how much you're paying per product, and then move on. So once it knows your product costs and inbound shipping costs, you can go down to the P&L statement, and it will split up all your information by revenue. It'll give you your sales, refunds, reimbursements, and promos. And there's like a date range up to 1 year, which is perfect if you're doing taxes, do January 1st through December 31st. And your Amazon expenses. So this should sound familiar. Cost of goods, inbound shipping, reshipping, recurring fees, order fees, and PPC from Campaign Manager. And then ultimately it'll spit out some massive chart like this. This was mine for 2018. And this is basically all the information I needed for my taxes. Obviously, like I mentioned, I had to go also grab my Amazon coupons, my lightning deals, and my AMS spend and factor that in and deduct that from the profit as well. Beyond that, that's pretty much what you need, and it's done for you if you sign up for Fetcher.com. Link is in the description. I highly recommend Fetcher. I've also done a Fetcher review post on my website. It's great. It's $19 a month, best $19 a month that I spend. It helps me stay on track with my inventory reorders. I love it. All right, and last, as promised, I also included in my write-up how you can pull the reports necessary if you're selling on other platforms, including Etsy and eBay, and fulfilling your orders via either Printful or Gearbubble. So starting with Etsy, they're amazing. They put all the information you need in a single dashboard called Fees and Taxes. So you literally click the link, and if you're logged in, you just, well, I guess you'll have to set the date range to account for the year that you're filing taxes for. But then it gives you a breakdown all in one screen of everything you need. So your listing fees, marketing fees, shipping labels, and transaction fees, just like that. So you'll deduct that from the $10.99 that Etsy sent you, along with your product costs, which you'll pull from either Gearbubble or Printful or whatever print-on-demand service you're using. I'll show you Gearbubble and Printful in a second. Next, I have eBay. So unlike Etsy, eBay has a single screen that has a drop-down that you see pictured here, where you can select on a month-to-month basis your transaction breakdown. What I did is I just grabbed the number and added them all up. I'm a web developer, so I went into my developer console, grabbed the HTML, and then just chopped off the name of the month and kept the transaction amounts. And then I put them in Excel and just did a sum on them. But you can also just do it manually, whatever floats your boat, whatever works for you. Last, we need to go into our print-on-demand production partner and pull reports to see how much money we paid them to produce, design, and ship our orders to our customers. So starting with Printful, which if you're new to my channel, Printful is my recommended and favorite print-on-demand platform. At face value, it may look like they're pricier than some of their competitors, but trust me, charge your customers flat rate for shipping and use Printful's dynamic shipping to fulfill your orders to customers. I made a separate video about it. You can basically upgrade your customers' shipping to 1 to 3 day DHL Express. It's only going to cost you probably $3.50. If you're charging flat rate shipping of about $5.50, you keep a $2 profit and you shoot your customer a message. Hey, we upgraded your shipping. Just let them know, tell them you did it for free. They'll love it. They'll give you good reviews. You make extra money. Everybody wins. It's a separate video. Check it out on my channel. Moving on. This is where you pull the report to see your expenses on Printful. I put a link to it in my blog. But they just added this dashboard in 2019 just in time for tax season. I'm so happy they did. So the column that matters most to us is the fulfillment column. The rest you can pretty much ignore for tax purposes. The fulfillment column shows us the aggregate of what we paid Printful. It includes things like digitization fees, taxes collected, the raw cost of the product, and shipping costs to get it to our customer. So the rest of this dashboard, don't be confused. Fulfillment is the column that represents our expenses paid to Printful. The rest though, like the profit column, remember that's not your true profit because it doesn't account for fees that we paid to the e-commerce website where we got the sale. Like Amazon has their own fees, eBay has their own fees, Etsy has their own fees, etc. You may see a fulfillment column discount if you sell a lot. Printful will give you what they call volume discounts the following month, which is a great perk to using Printful if you're selling really well. And then the sales shipping versus fulfillment shipping columns. Sales shipping is what you collected, what you charged from your customer. Fulfillment shipping is what it actually cost you to ship it to them. So as you can see here from my screenshot, I have a nice little cushion there. And I made an extra $3,300, give or take, by charging flat rate and then using dynamic shipping to fulfill orders. So like I said, pro tip, you should be doing that. Next, let's go down here to Gear Bubble. And if you follow the link on my blog, they have a single page dashboard. You set the date range to the fiscal year you're reporting taxes for, and it just gives you the number. Chances are your graph is going to look similar to mine, where you're going to see a big spike in the fourth quarter because that's when print-on-demand sales tend to take off. But overall, it will give you in the middle of that big blue circle the amount that you paid them last year. So you pretty much deduct that as your product costs. Remember, also, don't forget to deduct fees that you paid the e-commerce platforms where these sales took place. Although with Gearbubble, it functions as its own marketplace. So if you're a baller and you're actually getting sales through gearbubble.com, which outside of the founder, I don't know anybody else that's really doing that. But Don Wilson, the guy who's in charge of Gearbubble, who as far as I know, built it from the ground up, he claims he runs Facebook ads to Gearbubble pages and gets sales. I've never heard of anybody else doing that successfully. But if you do and you're watching my video, drop me a comment. I'd love to learn from you. Anyways, guys, thanks for checking out this video. If you liked it, please subscribe, hit the like button, and drop me a comment. Let me know if you have any feedback. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for checking it out, and I'll see you at the next one.